Pam Bondi, she's out. But there are other notable key figures, names floating around, DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, and others, Howard Lutnick, as possibilities. Is a shakeup necessarily a good thing? And maybe your thoughts on where the DOJ, goes next in terms of the focus?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And we did see the White House put out a big statement of confidence behind DNI Gabbard. Some folks were saying at one point that they were considering what if Pam Bondi went over to DNI for Gabbard's position. The president came back saying that he likes Director Gabbard where she is. But at the same time, I know a lot of people want to read into this as a big shakeup, but I would point out to folks that it's the 13, 14-month mark of the administration. You typically do kind of see the 1-year itch at this moment for these cabinet positions. Certainly, by the way, much less turnover than in the first Trump administration. So as time does go by, this is usually the time that we see presidents, and particularly President Trump, looking around at the administration and saying, you know what, I want to make a few more changes. I want to see where things are going. And of course, the media likes to play this up as if it's some big blow up and some big dust up. And certainly his former show, The Apprentice, was all about that. But I think it does more have to do with dialing things in for what he wants, getting ready for the midterm elections.
Yeah, Grace, it's not as if this doesn't happen in every administration, but people are sort of framing it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the exact point. And again, like Jack brought up, he had an entire show focused on this principle of leadership that he makes sure that he approves of what's getting done, and if not, he might move people around. And it's also important to note that Trump's priority is getting all of his campaign promises and all of the principles that his administration stands on done. That's the priority. So he has every right to be looking around his administration, making sure things are getting done, checking in on that. It doesn't necessarily mean anything big, but on top of that, it is not his job to make sure that government employees feel comfortable. It's his job to make sure that everything is getting done for the American people. So I'm not surprised to see changes. I think we could see more. There's speculation relating to the Labor Secretary or Commerce, which might have to do with showing Americans a new way for the economy. We will have to watch and see, but I don't think this is something that's surprising, and we have seen it in many administrations before.
All right, I want to take you across the pond if I can. GB News confirming that King Charles will not be recording an Easter message for the holiday, but he had time to make this video.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Ladies and gentlemen, as Muslims across the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth begin preparations to celebrate Eid after fasting for the holy month of Ramadan, I just wanted to convey my heartfelt best wishes to all who celebrate this festival.
This is just pathetic. Do that message. Great. Good on you. Fine. But not to do an Easter message?
I mean, this is empire ending. Literally, this is empire ending. It's so mind-boggling. It's such a slap in the face to the people of the UK, to the West. We've been completely conquered.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the days of those putting up the signs during the BLM protests where they put the big boards over their window, but also put support of BLM, essentially saying, hey, don't attack my store. If he's looking for radicals not to attack, I believe that may be the message. Jack, just final thoughts there. Missing the mark and especially ignoring Christians, the millions of Christians around the world during this time.
Oh, this is what they want for the West at large. This is what they want for the United States. That's the goal. They want you to, they can leave you in office, but you have to be supplicants to again, these foreign religions that come into our countries, come into our areas where they've completely replaced our own. And you can't even say, Zohar Mandami just put out a statement about Good Friday. He said today is a day of sacrifice, but he didn't say whose sacrifice. He didn't say the name of Jesus Christ. He didn't call it out for what it actually is. So this is the way we're moving if we don't actually stand up for our traditions as Christians.
Yeah, and it's not saying don't celebrate, a holiday. Go ahead, but just be mindful of everyone's.
We appreciate that. Thanks so much for the conversation, Grace Reilly, Jacqueline Toboroff, and of course, Jack Posobiec. Thank you. Good to see you.
Bye.